I'm going to talk to you about elimination communication, which is, I suppose, an alternative way of, instead of nappies, to have your baby clean and, to respond to their hygiene needs. So you can do it from birth. I didn't. I did it from maybe when my baby was 6 or 7 months old. So it works really, really well with cloth nappies. So if you're interested in cloth nappies, this works really well. It's so what I did was that I have my baby. I knew that he would often need to go to the toilet when I was feeding him. So I had a potty like this. It's just, I had it at home anyway, and I used to just put it between my legs and sit him on top of it. And he would often go during a feed. So, I mean, I suppose the most opportune times that most babies will need to go to the toilet is during a feed, after a feed, when they wake up after a nap, when they wake up in the morning, after they've been sitting on their high chair, after they've been sitting in a car seat. Most babies will need to go to the toilet. So it's very easy to catch either a pee or a poo after one of those times, and it's kind of amazing. I after even 2 or 3 days, I noticed that my baby would really respond and would, know that what the potty was for. It's really amazing. They say that babies kind of know even from birth when they need to go to the toilet, and we all put them in nappies. I did myself. I put my babies in nappies and you nappy train them. But even, after my baby was in nappies for 6 months, I did this for 2 or 3 days, and he knew, what the potty was for. When I put him on the potty, I always made a little signal like pee-pees and a sound, so I did pee-pees, and he knew exactly what it was for. Now, I didn't catch every single time, but I suppose even the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was kind of obsessed by it and tried to catch every single time he needed to go to the toilet. But that's not the idea. You drive yourself crazy. But if you get them used to it, you catch 50% of the time. They know what it's for, and it is amazing. It really is amazing. I couldn't get over how he responded so quickly to it. And it wasn't that my baby was any more special than any other child. Any baby can do this, and it means that you're doing less washing. Instead of, I used to wash, I didn't have that many cloth nappies, so instead of washing the nappies every 2 days, I was probably washing every 4 days. I was dealing with, I didn't have messy nappies to deal with half as much, because it's much easier to catch a poo than a pee. So it was great. I just couldn't recommend it enough. I suppose, how would you do it? So the most opportune times, as I said, were when, after a nap, nearly every baby needs to go when they wake up first thing in the morning, after they've been in the high seat, during a feed or after a feed. With a small baby, as I said, you can do it from birth. I suppose the best thing is you can hold them over the toilet, or you can hold them over a potty, catch them like this under the legs, and have their back kind of supported by your stomach. So you kind of lift them up like this almost. It's just try it. You have nothing to lose, really. It's kind of amazing how your baby is so clever that you can respond to this. It does make a great connection as well. You discover that you have an amazing instinct when your child needs to go to the toilet. Even my husband, who had nothing to do with it, I went back to work when my baby was about 12 months old, and my husband really had nothing to do with it. He didn't want to even know, to be honest, before this. But then he worked shift work, so he was with my baby after that a lot more, and he has a great instinct. He'll often kind of go, oh, he needs to pee. I suppose with us, my baby now he's 19 months, and he's out of nappies about 2 months. So it's kind of like, obviously they'll be out of nappies sooner, but if you just kind of relax and go with it, you'll see, like, they're so clever. They'll pick it up, they'll get the idea, and they'll be out of nappies way sooner. It's actually what our grandmothers would have done. I know they didn't have washing machines, and babies weren't in nappies really after 18 months, 19 months. They had to boil their nappies on the stove, on the cooker, so they basically didn't have them, up to 3 years of age. we think it's normal now, but it's only a kind of a modern phenomenon, that nappies, the disposable nappies are so good, they're almost too good, because the children are in their nappies until they're three and a half often. So that's only a modern phenomenon. As I said, up to about 30 years ago, all children were toilet trained way sooner. I found a lot of information on the Go Diaper Free website. So it's Go Diaper Free. It's an American woman who, she's written books about it. There's some e-books. You don't really need those, but she did great podcasts, so you can listen to the podcasts. Kind of, I used to put them on when I was making the dinner or something, and you can listen along and you kind of get the idea of it. It does sound like it's kind of, when I heard about it first, I thought it's like, oh my God, it's going to be hippies. Like it's just too out there. But actually, once you see it in action, it's kind of amazing. Even you'll see it like from very, very quickly. That kind of might be it. There's far less washing, as I said, and you have great connection with your child. And I don't know if there's anything else, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. All right. Shall I just go?
What I'll do is
Pause.